Okay, this week I wanted to try and do 7 books in 7 days. However I got that done, whether it be reading 1 book a day or 3 books in 1 day and taking a break in the middle, I wanted to get it done. When I went to edit this video, I realized I still hadn't done my intro. I knew I didn't do my outro, but I still didn't do the intro, so I know the results of this right now. You don't. You want to help me? Okay.
Hi, sweet man. So it's my birthday in 2 days.
Okay, I know how this week played out, and then I'll wrap this video up in just a second, but you watch about 30 minutes in between that. But basically, I've been planning to do this for a while, and I've been doing a lot of job interviews, and I was worried that I was going to get a job where I worked during the day with long hours, because right now I work at night and the hours vary. I'm a bartender. I'd kind of had a good feeling about a job even though I didn't really want the job, so I figured I should probably do this challenge now while I'm not working 5 days a week from 8 until 5:30. I didn't get the job, plot twist. By the way, I didn't get the job. Alright, we're about to jump into it, but I did want to say I knew that I was going to start this challenge with Harry Potter when I decided I was going to do the challenge. Because I figured I would read that really fast and I'd read it in a couple of hours. For some reason this week I was just reading really slow. I think I was in a slump reading wise and my personal life, and you'll see that slowly progressively get worse throughout this video. So I'll see you in like 30 minutes. So I just got home from work and I was there an hour and a half longer than I expected to be, 2 hours longer than I expected to be. So I am on page 180 of Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone. There are 308 pages, I believe. So I'm a little over halfway. And I need to finish this tonight because I don't already on the first day and on such a short book want to roll over any of those pages to tomorrow. Not to mention I do work and I have work this weekend and my longest shifts are Friday and Saturday nights. Obviously, I'm a bartender, so whatever I read, I have to read that day because I won't get home until after 1 a.m. However, I worked 2 different jobs today, and I have a job interview on Wednesday, and I have therapy tomorrow, so I do have a couple little things during the week, but nothing too bad. But today, I was helping at my parents' store, which was cute because when I got to the part where they were seeing all the snacks on the trolley and everything, I went around and picked up a couple snacks myself. Now, granted, they're just British snacks. They're not necessarily magical snacks, but still same kind of vibe. I'm also reading my newer box set, which are these pretty blue covers. I have like the old box set where it's, you know, the different colors and that my dad got me. It was like one of the more original covers. I don't know. I can't remember if it was the plaid spine or the gold spine, but it's like the one where they're all different colors. And that was my first set of Harry Potter books, which is the first ones that I've read, and I've since done the audiobooks. Ironically enough, I have not seen the last movie, nor read the last book, nor listened to the last audiobook because I want to do it in the order that I started with, which was the movie first. And I never watched them because I just didn't want Harry Potter to end, but now I feel like as an adult, I want to wrap up the series. I told you I'm a chronic not series finisher. So I have also started a mission. I started it a couple weeks ago, maybe a month ago, where I decided to rewatch the Harry Potter movies every weekend. I watched the first one and haven't watched it since. So maybe this weekend I might pick up the second Harry Potter. Next week is also going to be a pretty rough week for me, so I'm not looking forward to, like, this weekend leading up to it. And I think I might even do another Healing Diaries, and I haven't done one of those since Christmas. So, like I said, it is almost 10 p.m. and I have almost half this book to read. Granted, I read the first half in a couple hours. Not too bad. I felt like I was kind of dragging, though. I really thought I was going to fly through this book in a couple hours, and it was the first day. I thought it would be easy. I'm stalling, I guess. Anyway, okay, so. I feel sad. Okay, it's the next day. I finished Harry Potter this morning. I fell asleep last night with like 60 pages left. So, I just got back from therapy. I'm about to go to work, kind of, but I can read my book while I'm there because I'm kind of just sitting there. But we need to pick a new book to read, but I know I need to check my little rules that I made because I wanted to make this more difficult. Rules. 7 books in 7 days, however I get that done. I get 3 vetoes, 1 novella, 1 picture book, and 1 graphic novel. 1 book over 400 pages? Yikes. Yikes, yikes, yikes. Okay, well, I don't know what book to read because I was going to pick like a pretty short book, but I also know I have a couple busy days coming up. However, technically I just have to read 7 books in 7 days. I've already taken a day and into this morning to finish one, so it's not 1 book per day already. So I guess I could do a romance book or a thriller today, and maybe I can find one that's over 400 pages, because technically I have already read 1 fantasy. Harry Potter is fantasy. I don't know what to read. Let's look through and I'll come back when I make a decision. Ooh. Okay, I'm back. I think I've landed on one. I think the problem is I might be in a reading slump because nothing sounded good. I think I'm going to pick up a thriller because I just am not in the mood to read romance, to be fair. And I can't find any books that are over 400 pages that I want to read right now. It would probably make more sense to pick a longer book at the beginning of the week, though, wouldn't it? Dang it. How long is this book before I tell you what I'm reading and I change my mind? $3.95! This is 400. This is 404 pages. Oh no. Oh no. Okay, which one do I do? Heartless Hunter or Lock Every Door? I was gonna pick up a thriller, but this one isn't 400 pages. Maybe I'll just take both of them and see which one I'm vibing with more. Because I know that I love Riley Sager books, but I know that sometimes they take me a little bit to get into. He's sitting on my desk. Look at how he's sitting on my desk. He's sitting on my... Hi, baby. Okay. I'm back home. I decided to pick up Lock Every Door by Riley Sager. And I made it to page... Alright, and I made it to page 108, chapter 14. I'm starting to think that I'm not going to finish this book tonight. Which, like, stresses me out. What is wrong with me? I've been reading so slow. And every time I read, I can read for 5 minutes and then I want to fall asleep. And that's never really been my problem. What the heck? I used to, like, do challenges where I would read, like, several books in a day. What the F is going on? Anyway, the likelihood of me finishing this today is not great, especially because I'm about to play some games with some friends. And So far the book is good though. It's very atmospheric with New York, and most of his books, I think all of his books that I've read have been based in New York or just, you know, Upper East America. Like New England-y. I don't know if he's ever made it south of New York. I think it's only been north. However though, I will pick this back up later tonight. I feel like I just need to take a break because I did read for a couple hours, which is another weird thing. I used to be able to read like 100 pages in an hour. I don't know what's wrong with me, guys. Anyway, if I don't finish this today, I will keep reading it tomorrow and do one of my veto books tomorrow, like a really, really short book. And I guess that'll be that, but I don't know what's wrong with me. Whole video has been me sitting in this exact same spot talking about how I'm not reading as fast as I want to and how it's taken me 2 days to read a book. Anyway, I just got back from an interview and I read a little bit before I left. It also is the next day. Sorry. Freddie, you're purring real loud in the background, bud. I love you though. Anyway, okay, alright, like I said, I just got back from an interview. I think it went okay, but I'm not getting my hopes up for anything anymore. So, talking about the book. Let me just go get the book. This will be so much easier. Alright, it's kind of like a vesty dress, and I don't know what shoes to wear, so. Okay, I think I have about 100 pages left in the book. I read a ton last night, ended up taking a nap, but then woke up and read quite a bit. Tonight is my last free night until Sunday because I'm working the rest of the week. So this book that I was supposed to read yesterday has fallen into finishing it today, hopefully. I think I can finish it today. And I might have to use one of my veto books today, unfortunately. However, I don't really want to. I wanted this to be 7 books in 7 days, but so far it's been 2 books in 3 days. Ah! Tell him how I feel. Okay. So I might have to pick up my novella or something later today to stay on track. However, to talk about the book, I love Riley Sager books. These are good. This one doesn't feel quite as eerie, but at the same time it does. I don't know how to explain it. This one definitely feels... I don't think I'm at the thriller part of this yet. It's definitely more like psychologically, oh, someone's up to no good, but it's not scary psychological. Like, it's not making me, like, look over my shoulder. It's definitely just entertainment purposes. It's not making me question things, which is good. I don't think I signed up for that. That's fine. I didn't sign up to be scared in my own home. Every single one of his books that I've read would be great movies and stuff. This one specifically, I think, would be a really fun, like, just little mystery movie. I don't know. I don't know if it's under thriller yet. Because I haven't been jumpy, my heart hasn't been racing, but I'm having a good time. If that makes sense. Literally, Ruth Ware says something about urban paranoia. That's what it is. This book is just all about paranoia. Also, this is the first time, granted, I still have 100 pages left, where I'm not... At any point have I not questioned the main character for being kind of questionable. I think she has her faults, but I so far haven't thought, like, she's sketchy yet. There's time. There's 100 pages left. Anyway, I'm in some pretty fancy clothes. I have a blazer on and everything, and I have this little dress. It has buttons on it. Anyway, if you couldn't tell, I'm back into my big girl job era. I don't want to bartend for the rest of my life. If I was bartending, I would go back to the city. But they are really weird about hiring, so that's not what's happening at the current moment. I'm really hoping the rest of the week I get better about filming stuff. I also mentally have just not been where I wanted to be for this challenge, but I'm worried if I do find a job, then my days are gone. So I wanted to do this, so it was kind of rushed. Like, this was kind of like, if I don't do this now, I don't know when I could do this challenge. So, sorry for the rush. I'll try to get some better montage content or something. Oh, maybe we can go to the bookstore. I certainly can take up more reading time with that. Fred, you want to come say hi? Come on.
Say hello! Baby boy! Okay.
Also, I am a baby Blink now. I love Blackpink. Anyway. I saw a review for this book where someone said it wasn't realistic. I want to read this quote, and you tell me. With wealth comes power. Power earns you importance, and the truly important people in the world deserve to live longer lives than those who are beneath them. That's especially true as we face another epidemic. Also, I think this was written in 2019. What happened in 2019? So I'm not going to spoil what happens in the book. Read it, and then you tell me if you think it's that unrealistic. I personally do not. Anyway. Also, I don't think he was talking about the pandemic in 2019. I think he is talking about, like, organ donations. However, the timing is, like, actually insane. Because I don't know if this came out before or after that. I'll keep reading. I'll let you know. Okay, it got creepy. It got so creepy. What the fuck? Oh gosh. I finished it. Don't ever trust a man. Oh gosh. Oh gosh. Okay, that's 2 books down. And I'm 3 days in. That means I have to read another book tonight. I'm having a bit of a dilemma. It is like 10 p.m. on Wednesday. I'm tired. I want to go to bed. But if I go to bed, I have to wake up, I have to do chores, and then I have to go to work, and that's the rest of my week because today is my last day off till Sunday. And I just finished Lock Every Door, but that took me... I started it yesterday and I finished it today, so technically it took me 2 days to read it. So I should read a short book tonight to catch me up so I can start the 4th day with the 4th book. At this point, it is not a 1 book a day for a week challenge. When I do that, that's what I'll title it. Right now, it is still just 7 books in 7 days, however I get that done. So, let me look back at our rules for a second because... Okay. I get 3 vetoes, which are 3 little cheats. So a novella, a picture book, graphic novel. I don't want to use all 3, to be fair. Maybe 1 or 2. Because technically, the novella that I had in mind for this challenge is Powerful. And it's still 200 pages. And granted, it is a really small book. Like, that's, like... It's a really small book. The print is not... Like, it, you know, it's fine. So it's not, you know, like an 80-page novella. It is 200 pages. It is small, however. So this was the novella I had in mind, which wasn't the biggest cheat, I guess. You're still reading quite a few pages for this one. The one that's getting me is the 400-page book, because I kind of figured I could pick up this. This is just over 400 pages. However, I'm also in a mindset where I'm not wanting to start new series. So that's making things kind of difficult. Like, I want to finish series before I start more. The other thing is I really wanted to read a romance book. When I wrote the rules for this challenge, I was not in a good headspace, but in a better headspace than I am currently in. I don't want to read a straight up and down romance book, because I really thought I was going to pick up like Book Lovers by Emily Henry and read that. I'm not in the mood for a romance book, because I honestly don't think I would read it fast. I think I would stall, because I'm just not, I'm not there mentally. However, the other choices I have for my fantasy books are romantic fantasies. So because technically I've already read a fantasy book, which is Harry Potter, I'm contemplating using the next one as my romance book if it's like heavy, in the plot romance. Obviously there's not really romance in Harry Potter, especially the first one. However, because I am kind of not in the I want to start new series kind of vibe, I am contemplating I'm contemplating picking up the next Ruthless Boys of the Zodiac book. I have it on my Kindle, which is where I'm reading them, like, for the first time. I'm reading them through on my Kindle. I do have, like, a collector's edition back there and the first edition. It is, like, according to Kindle, it'll take me over 12 hours to read that book. I can't do that in one day based off of my schedule the rest of the week. I already know that I'm not doing that in one day. However, what if I spend the rest of the week reading that with other things, because then that can be my over 400-page book. It is a 600-page book. I'm like talking myself out of it the more I talk about it. Why did I give myself rules? Read a whole book away from home? Why did I write that? Dumbass. Okay, I'm contemplating what I want to read tonight, though, because I was kind of thinking of saving the novella for the last book I read. It's also sad, because, spoiler alert, Powerful is in between the first and second book of the Powerless trilogy, and this is the timeline of the main character's best friend throughout the first book. So you get to see what she's doing as the first book plays out in this novella. By the end of the first book, she's dead. And just until I fall in love with this book, it's a quick turnaround. Fall in love, dead. So I don't know if I want to read this tonight. I don't know if I want to cry. I'm going to be crying enough the next week or two. So, what do I want to do? But here's the other thing. I know I want to read this at some point this week. But I'm also reading another fantasy book some point this week, whether that is Heartless Hunter or the next Ruthless Boys. So I'm reading 2 more fantasy books. So I'm like, do I want to read this now and then pick up another series, or do I want to finish with this? I'm like talking in circles because I'm stalling. That's what I'm doing. Do I start a 600-page book tonight? I'm sorry, it's getting good. All I want to do is read that one, really. But I also did this challenge to read a bunch of other books, so I'm like, sorry, literally the first sentence of this book is kind of insane. This has been on my list for a while too, so I'm kind of like, I don't think I want to take a long pause from reading Ruthless Boys, but I'm like, do I just... The thing is I just finished the second Ruthless Boys, and I said, don't pick up the third one, do this challenge, and then when this challenge is done, just go back to reading the series. So now I don't know what to do. But do I want to get invested in a whole new world right now? It really shouldn't be this stressful to like pick up a book and read it. I'm making it so hard for myself. I should read something small tonight to catch up. I think as a last resort, I didn't want to do like the picture book thing. I wouldn't consider it like a cheat. Like, I do own picture books because I enjoy, like, I'm picky about them, I guess, but I do enjoy some of them. Why am I making it so difficult? I think the obvious choice would be to do this one tonight, but I think I am wanting to save this for the last day. Because I'm sure by the last day of this, I will be burnt out. I might be in a slump right now. The thing is, oh gosh, what is the thing? Why does it even matter? What am I saying? Oh my gosh. Alright, read a book that's over 400 pages. Because both of these would count as romance, as would Ruthless Boys. Do I cheat the system and like do a 2-for-1? If it's a romance that's over 400 pages, does that count as the same thing? I think I'm okay with bending that rule. I made them. Can we talk about how freaking pretty this book is? I mean, this one's pretty too. All of the Powerless series like are so pretty. This is amazing. Oh my god, am I convincing myself? Hold on. I might be convincing myself. I don't know what to do. I really don't know what to do. I'm gonna have to eat my bagel and regroup. And I'll show you what book I'm reading. Because I want to read Ruthless Boys, but I'm also like, take a break? Oh gosh, I don't know. I'm in this weird kick of wanting to read series, like, through, and I've never done that before. Ugh.
Trees aren't green, the ocean is gray, sky is a vague blue, come my way. My room is a mess, it could use a hand. My favorite TV shows to capture in. I know I must get it right, must get back in the fight. This can't be a surprise, I think I'll let it slide. I'm sleepwalking through.
Okay, it is Thursday night. I'm still not caught up. I'm still only on the 3rd book of this challenge. However, I am about 200 pages in, and I'm really liking the book, and it's reading really fast. If I had started this the first day, I would have read it in one day. I'm reading it faster than Harry Potter. I'm like totally failing this challenge, but it's okay because I want to do it again. And you know the ironic thing is I am really liking this, and I think I want to pick up the second one pretty soon. I don't know if I already have it. I'm pretty sure I bought it, but I don't know where it's at. So I'm like, did I? I also did my nails. It's late though. It's after midnight, I think. Yeah, it's like 1 a.m. So I'm gonna go to bed because I need to wake up tomorrow and get a lot of reading done this weekend. I'm so lame. What is wrong with me? Oh well, it's fine. It's fine. I'm still gonna get it done. I really didn't want to have to do like some easy outs with some really short books, but I'm just gonna have to, and it's fine. It's fine. I have like a graphic novel I want to read this weekend, so it's fine. It's fine. Everything's fine. I'm just really sleepy.
I finished it. I got home from work about an hour ago, less than an hour ago, and I just read the last 60 pages. Hi, baby. I just read the last 60 pages. I thought I bought the second book, and I'm not sure. I'm going to have to look around my bookshelves. But I just want to like read the next one because I think it's only a duology. That was pretty good. There was a couple things at the very end where I'm like, that didn't have to happen, and now I'm sad. But that was really good. I liked it. I liked it more than I thought I would, and I definitely was itching to pick it up when I wasn't reading it, which is a really good sign. Something that I liked that I wasn't sure if I was going to like is every time you kind of connected the dots of, oh, this is why that character's doing that. This is going to play out later. She would have the character immediately be like, this is probably what they're doing. So there was no like waiting 10 chapters to like figure something out. The character was figuring things out as you did, which was kind of refreshing. Yeah, I kind of just want to go get the second one if I don't already have it. I thought I bought it. Anyway, I have to read like 3 books this weekend, 4 books. They're going to be small books. It is what it is. Hello again. Alright, so I decided
My mental health was more important than finishing this challenge, and usually reading helps me in times like that. And then sometimes I don't know what I need. This time it was not trying to read 4 random books in one day. Despite how small they could be, I just didn't think it was what I needed to do. So I did end up only reading 3 books, which reading 3 books in 1 week is not normal for the average person. I feel like if you consume book content and you avidly watch videos like these, it feels like so, I don't know what the word is. It just doesn't feel like you accomplished anything, I guess. However, the sole purpose of the challenge was just to read books and as an excuse to read them all day. And I read 3 books, and I found a series that I really enjoyed because I ended up picking up the second book in the Crimson Moth and finishing that. Not in the 7-day span, but I immediately picked it up after finishing Heartless Hunter. And I've read it and finished it since that video ended, because there's been about a week or so in between. And I didn't read a lot of the books that I thought I was going to read, but that's okay because they will have their time and I'll read them when I'm ready. I feel like that's another big thing when it comes to challenges like this is I'm a big mood reader, and if I start forcing myself to read stuff that I don't want to, which sometimes can be fun, it becomes counterproductive and it's not a hobby that I enjoy. It's like a chore. However, sometimes I am the kind of the person that I didn't do well with homework when I was in school, but sometimes I miss having like the homeworky task. So that's sometimes why I create random challenges. But like I said, I am going to revisit this challenge. I knew this was not a one-off challenge, and I will do it again, and I will really, really try to do more books. And like, I didn't even really use my vetoes, and I definitely could have. I even picked up my graphic novel and I read 50 pages of it and I just wasn't enjoying it. And I don't think it's fair to me, and I don't think it's fair to a book to read it when I'm not in the mood for it, because I feel like when, book content creators do that, and when they force themselves to read books for challenges or to complete something rather than just enjoying it, I don't feel like it's a fair assessment of the book or your enjoyment level, or just, I don't think it's fair. So I did prioritize my mental health last week. And unfortunately it got much, much worse after that video. I'm still currently dealing with it. Today is not a super, super, super low day. It's just like an average low day. And it's something I'm personally dealing with. And I only talk about it because I make these videos for myself. I know a lot of people don't watch them, and that's fine. I like to go back and watch my videos after a couple years have passed, and I think right now is a very interesting time to do that. Like, this has been the worst year and a half of my life. So I think it's very interesting, and I am in therapy, but I think this is a form of therapy that I am doing with and for myself, which, doing my healing diaries a year ago really got me back into making videos, and now I'm back to making book videos, which makes me happy, and I don't care if people watch them. I'll watch them. But that also means that I need to prioritize certain things, which is why this title is I attempted to read 7 books in 7 days. So I read 3.5, and they were all full-length books, which was not my intention going in. I did not anticipate reading 7 full-length books. That's why I gave myself the vetoes. So ultimately reading 3.5 full-length books in 1 week was awesome. And I got 3 books off of my TBR. And reread, a really cozy, I don't know if it's a favorite. I have my opinions about the Harry Potter books, but. So, to recap, the first book we read was Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone. Listen, I love Harry Potter. I love Harry Potter, but I have an unpopular opinion. Because I watched the movies first. I did not grow up an avid reader and all that stuff. And as an adult, as a human, as a person with a brain, I intensely dislike J.K. Rowling. So I do not like supporting her in any sense. But I grew up with the movies, and what other people made them is what I'm in love with. Because I read these books, and yeah, they're a fun time, and I can see why, people really liked them, but I do not think Harry Potter would be what it was if the movies were not made the way they were made. And that's my opinion. Sue me. The next book I read Lock Every Door by Riley Sager. This book, I don't know how to describe it because it was eerie and it was like a good thriller, but it was not scary thriller and it wasn't as psychological as some of his other ones, but it was weird. Like, it was weird. It was a good time. It was so similar but so different to his other books because his other books that I've read, at some point you start questioning if the main character and the point of view you're reading from is reliable, and that is something I really like about his books. This one also was very atmospheric, where his books are usually that way. This one was, you know, New York City, and it was giving, like, you know, like, if you've ever watched Only Murders in the Building, like, that fancy building, like, I liked the atmosphere of it. And for a thriller and mystery author, as someone who likes happy endings but enjoys reading mystery and thrillers, I like how he wraps up his book because there's always some kind of full circle, even if it's not necessarily the best outcome. Like, ooh, someone who was a part of this group that was really, really crazy, or one of the bad guys, and I'm kind of mixing all of his books together. You know, this character who wasn't perfect isn't arrested or wasn't held responsible for what they did, but it's like a full circle. People did what they did to survive, and I don't know how to describe it. If you've read his books, you probably know what I mean. Really enjoyed this. Okay, the next book we read, Heartless Hunter by Kristen Ciccarelli. I am a sucker for anything witchy, and witch hunter books I'm obsessed with. Hello. I love Serpent and Dove. That book is pretty much what got me into reading, and I am obsessed with it. So, for similar reasons, I was hesitant and excited for this book. But I feel like they are based around the same premise, witch hunter, but they are not alike. Like, you can enjoy both, and they're similar enough to the point where you're like, oh, I'm gonna read both of them, but oh, I'm definitely not reading the same story, and I really liked that. This book, there were definitely things that I didn't love, but in the sense that I don't know how to describe it. I feel like the things I didn't love, I liked them because they weren't what I expected. Like, I didn't love them because it wasn't what I expected, so I guess I liked it, if that makes sense. If it doesn't, ignore me. I also liked how the love interest was 20 years old, but the main character, who was 18, or the female main character was 18, she kept referring to him as a boy, whereas everybody else in this world, including himself, considered him a man. And I like that because I feel like so many times protagonists and love interests are between the ages of 18 and 25. And they're, like, so mature, they have everything figured out, they have all this experience, this life experience, and I think you can have those things when you're 20 years old, but I feel like there's a big difference between 20 years old and being like 35, 30, even my age. I'm a completely different person than I was at 20 and at 18, like, completely different. I'm a completely different person than I was 3 years ago. So I like that she refers to him as a boy. It brings you back down to, like, these are kids. You know, but I like the kind of magic system where there's a give and take. Like, that's what I really liked about Serpent and Dove, is there's a give and take to use the magic, because then all your answers could be solved if there wasn't. One moment. Hello? I'm coming. I'm finishing updating my YouTube video.
Oh my God, the pizza's gonna be cold.
I'm coming!
Bye.
Bye, love you.
Bye-bye.
But I feel like I'm, like, missing out because it's been like a week since I've read this book. I really enjoyed it. I don't very often read a book and when I close it, go buy the sequel the next day. Usually I like to take a little break, but this was only a duology and I thought it was a good time just to go pick it up because I've been kind of weird about starting series right now when I'm in the middle of so many. But I do recommend this book. I thought it was really good. And there were a couple moments that made me like, ooh. Like, oh no, it was in the second book, didn't say that. Anyway, however, I will say, talking about the second book, no, I didn't finish this book in this video or in the challenge, but I started it, and because I'm talking about it and I started it, I kind of just want to review it now. So the second book and the first book, it's only a duology, but how much stuff was in it, not everything got completely flushed out or, like, in-depth detail about everything, because everything was just moving so fast. You have this whole story you're trying to tell in 800 pages, because both of these books are just over 400 pages. So much happened, but I definitely feel like this could have been drawn out and I would have been just as happy. But I really, really give credit to people that can do it in 2 books, because I think writing a trilogy is hard enough. So being able to flesh something out in 2 books is insane. And there were a couple things in this book that made me like, because like I said while I was reading the book, I like that the main character figures things out as you do, so you're not sitting there for 10 chapters like, oh, why is this dingbat not figuring things out and putting 2 and 2 together? There was one thing that I figured out a couple chapters before the main character did about one of the characters. And I think that was the one time in the series where she was like, you're gonna know this before the characters do. I think that was very intentional, and I was obsessed with it. What was her name? I don't want to give you a spoiler. I don't want to say too much of a spoiler, but I'm just gonna say her name. Oh, Seraphine. That one got me. That was really, really, really good. Because I didn't anticipate something like that. There was little seeds planted, I guess, in the first book, but I did not anticipate it. That was good. That one made me go so I really enjoyed those books. I will recommend them, and I think they're really cute, and they're gorgeous, first of all. I need to start taking notes as I'm reading the books, because sometimes I think of things that I really want to say, and I just can't remember them. Anyway, I'm yapping, and I'm gonna go have a pizza night with my mom. So, I will see you guys next week. I'm actually working on a Healing Diaries right now, which I was kind of up in the air about, but I feel like it's time to do another one. I don't do them very consistently anymore. So I'm working on one of those, and I'm working on another book video for the end of summer. So that's kind of fun. So I will see you guys later.